Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am giving you an update on our homeschool life over here. We're going to be starting week 9. So we've officially finished 8 weeks worth of learning. No, it hasn't been 2 months worth of learning because we've taken quite a bit of time off here and there as we have started our travels to the East Coast from our home state of Utah. So I wanted to give you guys an update. I've had a lot of curriculum that's been working fantastic, and then a few of my choices are now epic failures. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, so as always, I'm going to be referring to my little checklists. Now, I've had a lot of questions about these. Every time I do a video, someone's going to post a comment about it, but these are available on my Teachers Pay Teachers shop. It's something that I created. I was inspired by another lady who put hers up on her website, and then I just modified it for myself. So anyway, this is for our coming week for week 9. So I'm going to just kind of refer to this and let you guys look at it so you can see, or not look at it. I will be looking at it so that I can make sure I cover all of the topics I want to. Also check the description box below and I will give you a timestamp there so that you can jump over to my 5-year-old's work if you are more interested in that. We're going to start with my 3rd grader, my 8-year-old's work, and then we'll go to my 5-year-old, okay? So, first and foremost, I want to share with you guys something that has completely changed my homeschool world for the better, and that is Teacher Filebox. And it's an online subscription program that's offered by Evan Moore. And you can access up to 400 and something, I'm going to say about 400. It's between 400 and 450 of their resources, and you can access them all online, which will allow you to, first of all, preview the chapters available, print them out, the ones that you want, or you can project it onto your phone or your computer or some kind of screen if you want to throw it up onto a screen and teach your entire class or all of your kids or whatever. And it has been a game changer for us, especially since we're traveling here on the road. I've been able to implement several of their books as a part of our school day, and you'll notice that as I begin to talk about it. So I'll just show you real quick with this quick little screenshot. You can see these are all of, or just a sampling of the resources that are available. They're all listed alphabetically, so you can see, A through Z, and the ones that I go to more frequently than not is the D for all of their daily activities. We do daily language, daily fundamentals, daily math, daily spelling, whatever I want to hit that day. And then my skill sharpeners are a favorite of mine. If you're new to my channel, I have a lot of review videos for these skill sharpeners, and you can see here that they have almost all of them, anything that you could need for all of the grade levels here. So head over to check the description box below. I'll put an affiliate link there for you, and then you can check out that website. See if it's something that's going to benefit your homeschool, because it sure has been a huge blessing for us. And you'll notice as I talk about those, almost always if I'm talking about an Evan Moore resource, I'm getting it through the Teacher Filebox website. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, I put up here on my kiddos worksheet, the first one was warm-ups. And so for the first quarter, we haven't been doing warm-ups because I haven't been able to find what it was I was really looking for. Enter Teacher Filebox. So now we do, I kind of interchange on which ones what we've done. So last week we did daily fundamentals and just week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And I would just project it onto my screen, and there's a little pen you can use on your screen. And some days we did that, but I actually preferred our little LCD tablets. And then my students could write the answers or rewrite the sentence or whatever the directions were on their tablet, and then just quickly erase it for the next number. So we've been doing that. This next week, I'm going to be doing a word a day with my 3rd grader. And it just has a list. I think there are 4 words that you learn during the week. For example, this coming week, it's appliance, appropriate, mumble, and I didn't write the fourth one down, but you just go through and it's like all the instructions are right there. Again, teacher file box to the rescue. All right, so the second thing on my list here, which when we do our school day, they're actually flipped. So if I hadn't already printed out all of my weeks, I would go and edit that and put devotionals first. But we do our devotionals. We are using the Word of Life Ministries devotional books, and they are the win for sure. I have loved using them. I have purchased them before, back when my now third grader, now 8-year-old, was just barely starting homeschool, and we just didn't utilize it the way that it needed to be. I was new. I was kind of confused. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. But this year we have done it every single morning, every single week so far, and it really is a love of mine. I actually do couple it with our Come Follow Me curriculum. For those of you who are members of the church and know that world, we do Come Follow Me in the evening with my husband. Our school time, we do this Word of Life Ministries, whatever week we're in, and it's just been such a blessing. I really have loved it. And then in addition to all of that, we are still doing the Wisdom Kids character qualities. It's been great. Like, I give it 1,000 stars, 1,000,000 reviews. It's super affordable. Go to Amazon, purchase it immediately because you will not regret it. We have loved it. This last week we did the lesson. It was called Under the Sea, and it was about anger, and it had, I think, 8 fish that you kind of like related to anger, and the puffer fish holds it in and then explodes, and then the electric eel nobody wants to be around because it kind of like zaps randomly. Anyway, so good, 1,000%. So go and buy that. Highly recommend it. Okay. Let's talk about science and history. So we have purchased BJU Press Distance Learning for both science and history. I went with that specifically for science because up until this year, we've kind of missed a lot of our science studies. And 10 stars, 100% on the science units. I have talked about it a couple of times in these our homeschool life videos. But the teacher is super engaging. The lesson material is interesting. The material is age appropriate. I have really enjoyed it. Now, we have done a small switch in the way that I do that with my student in that previously, the first several weeks, I just kind of had him turn on the video and just let him do it by himself. But I have really changed and tried to focus more on doing centers in my school. I did a video on my centers not too long ago, so go and check that out if you're curious. But I really have started focusing on spending one-on-one time with my students. And so with my son, we do language arts and science together, and I get him started on his math. So that science time has been together, and I've helped him be more engaged in it, and I think we've really just grown to love it together. So it's been super fun, and I really love that. On the other flip of the coin, we have to talk about heritage studies. So I've been using BJU Press all through our grades. So it was an easy choice for me this year to go with BJU Press history. It was a little difficult to go with distance learning because history is near and dear to my heart, but I went with it. And guys, I'm going to put it aside. We're going to walk away from it. And it's hard for me to say that because it was expensive, but it's not serving me at all. I don't care for the teacher. I don't care for the instructor at all. I've been sitting in with my student just like I had with science. And I can't, she's not engaging. I don't like her inflections of her voice. Like, it's a personal issue, but it's the same in public school. If you have, and I can say history because that was my discipline that I taught, but it's probably like that with all subjects. If you have a teacher that you just cannot gel with or your vibes are not there, it will destroy your interest in the subject. And that's how it is with me. I have talked to my kid and been like, do you like her? Like, how are your feelings? And he's just like, whatever, But history is so much more interesting than the way that it's being presented. And it's more than just the teacher to me. I don't think that the material is very age appropriate. I don't think that it's chronological or not. I feel like maybe U.S. history should be chronological, but it just kind of jumps around. And 1 minute you're talking about George Washington, and then the next minute you're talking about I don't know. Anyway, it just seemed really, the expansion was like the next chapter. And then there was, can we talk about this for 1 second? Okay, so sorry for the interruption, but I do need to talk about this for just 1 second. So the curriculum is a biblical worldview, and I have always loved it, and I loved teaching the gospel of Jesus Christ interjected with my children's subjects. But I do not like how this particular curriculum, this subject level 3 heritage studies, does it. I don't like it at all. I feel like they present it as, first of all, when the chapter comes about the Mormons moving west, it is horrifically presented, and whether you are a member of the church or not, I highly recommend that you skip it altogether because it does not teach anything accurate about the gospel of Jesus Christ. And as a member myself, and I went to somebody who works for the church in their historical department, and she rewrote it for them, and who knows what BJU Press will do with that information, but those 2 pages, first and foremost, are horrific. And I have mentioned that before. I will continue to use this platform to try and share the truth. Do not read those 2 pages. It's like page 194 and 195, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I just barely read the little section that was in chapter 3, and it was presenting religion in like the presidencies or something like that. And I'll get off my little pedestal, but I don't like how they are painting it. That pretty much, I feel personally that it's being painted as if you are not Christian, then you're not a good leader. You're not a good person to be an example to other people, and you shouldn't be elected. And I don't feel like that. I feel like there are a lot of different denominations of Christianity that have truth and have good in them, that we don't need to paint it as this Christian sect and that Christian sect. Anyway, okay, I'm getting off my little pedestal, but the moral of the story is I'm not using it anymore. We're not going to do any more lessons. And it really started in chapter 3 when I felt like it was bouncing around all over the place and I couldn't follow it and I was disinterested. And first it's talking about George Washington and then it says Thomas Jefferson and the budget. Anyway, it was so wild to me that I was like, I'm not interested. It's going to ruin it for my kids. So I do have a backup curriculum that we are going to be starting, but we won't do it until like January or February when we get back from all of these adventures. And I can really like get all those resources collected and get started with that. So at this point in week 9, our history will be, just whatever we're experiencing. So we went to Monticello last week. We're going to Williamsburg this coming week and Jamestown and Yorktown and all the stuff that's in Virginia there. And then we'll be heading back west. I mean, we did Little Rock 9. We've done tons of stuff. So I'm going to just bag that up and say that it's going to be sufficient for this year. Okay. That was a little lengthy. Let's talk about math. We're still using Horizons and I still enjoy it. We have just started like double digit multiplication to a single digit. So like, I don't know, 32 times 2, right? But I am noticing now that our multiplication facts are not memorized at all. And so especially like the 6, 7, and 8 family. So we are potentially, I'm going to just kind of like keep my tabs on it, but we could potentially be pulling back from moving forward in those lessons and just kind of like rehashing until we can get those facts memorized. So that's that. Our reading. So right now we are reading, Peter Pan, and we're doing Confessions of a Homeschooler's, whatever she called it, lap book, I think, but we are not doing it as a lap book because I don't have those resources with us. And so I'm just cutting out those and we're putting them on construction paper. So anyway, that's been going really good. And I've been having like this warmth in my heart because my son will sit down and although I don't know, I think that there's a lot of good and some cons that I can get out of it, but some 3 awesome positives is my son is sitting by himself, reading quietly to himself, and usually I read it to him, but he's going to be reading it, and he reads in his head, which usually he reads out loud. And so anyway, I can't remember the third one that I thought of, but it's been good. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay, our Fix-It Grammar. So it's hard for me to say that Fix-It Grammar has been a fail because I really was enjoying it. I think that the story was super interesting. We did the nose tree, I think it's called, so just the very first one. But we kind of pulled back mostly because I don't know why. We're taking a break. How about we say it like that? We're taking a break from that, and we're going to be doing some stuff off of the teacher file box from Evan Moore. So the one that I've picked is daily language, and we just do one of those every day, and it has them like correct a sentence, and then there's like homophone practice or verbs or nouns or whatever, just kind of like a parts of speech practice. And then, I think there's one more part at the end, but it's super short. I do it with him. He uses his little LCD tablet and writes the answer or the sentence, and that's been good for us. So we're taking a break from Fix-It Grammar, not because it wasn't good, because I really did enjoy the story, but my son's enjoyment of writing, just handwriting in general, isn't great. And that leads me to our spelling. I think that the reason that he doesn't enjoy writing is because he's not confident in his spelling. And that's a me issue because I haven't found something that has worked for us for me to be able to teach him spelling. So this last week we reverted back to like traditional spelling language or spelling practice where he gets a list, practices all week long, and then we do a skill check at the end. And I do it with him. It's not an independent assignment where I have had him do it independently before. We do that in that hour and a half time that he has his mom center, and I just do spelling with him. And I went back to our spelling little chart things that I've made. Again, those are on my Teachers Pay Teacher shop, but it's a spelling menu is what I call it. And we just pick one of those 9 boxes and he does that activity with his spelling. And then most of those 9 activities, not all of them, but many of them came from a language specialist when I went to a convention, and she was teaching how do you teach your kids spelling using this like language specialist background. So I integrated those into those spelling menus. So that's how we practice our spelling. And then on Friday, we do a spelling skills check. And I'm hoping that as we do this for more consecutive weeks, his spelling will be better. He will be more confident in being able to spell some of those tricky words that have silent E's or the vowel makes a weird sound or something like that. Then he'll be more interested in the writing. My ultimate goal is we're going to transition into All About Spelling is the name of it. So I had started with a reason. No, that's not it. I'm going to have to tell you when I get it. It's not, I purchased All About Spelling. It's been a little rocky. So that my goal is to move into whatever it is. I get those two confused. I'll get back to you on that in future videos when I jump into that. But I do have a goal that we're going to transition to. Okay. The last one is my looping schedule. Again, I'm so grateful that I found the teacher file box from Evan Moore. So every day we do something a little bit different. Poetry tea time is something that I'm integrating, even though our tea time isn't with like our fine china that I used to get, nor do we drink tea. So it's like some kind of fancy juice or beverage or something like that. We went apple picking at the orchard and I got some of their apple cider, and that was it before. And thank you to YouTube. We like listen to poetry. Someone else is reading the poetry on their video. And so it's like not what my dream was of poetry tea time at all, but we are getting that done. Aesop fables, I do a lot of those. Those again are on the teacher file box. and as well as fairy tales. Those are found in like the literary pockets, I think. So under L, if you have the teacher file box. Read aloud time, draw. I think it's called Draw and Then Write or something like that. Again, teacher file box. So I just go down there and we pick one of those. We draw like an astronaut and then we have a story about it. It's so fantastic. And then the other one is the six trait writing, again, teacher file box. So pretty much we're just rotating through all of those and every day we do something different. So that is my third grader. Really quick, my 5-year-old. So she is in between kindergarten and first grade work, because of a long backstory. But anyway, so right now her curriculum is as follows. She does 20 minutes on an online program that's provided by our state. It's called Upstart. And I have her do that while I'm doing my one-on-one time with my son. She loves it. And my 3-year-old sits next to her. It's just a lot of phonics practice, numbers practice, reading, all that kind of good stuff. And it's like a learning, whatever, smart program where it follows her pace. So that's been really fun. Sorry, I'm sitting on the floor and my legs are starting to fall asleep, which means this video is getting kind of long. I apologize. Okay, so her science is... again, teacher file box to the rescue. So I have been going through some of the units that correlate with what my son is learning with his BJU Press. So we just started chapter 3 with my son, which is about plants. So I went to teacher file box and I scrolled down to the science unit at her grade level, which they don't have kindergarten. They only have grade 1, but it seems to be fine. And I just kind of modify it a little bit and we learn about things that are alive and not alive. I also did a YouTube video several seasons ago, whenever it was, when I was doing this unit with my son at this age. So believe it or not, I went back, watched my own video, and I was like, what did I do? Oh yeah. And so there was tons of cute ideas that I did that we're kind of trying to implement with the few resources that we have right now. So I'll link that video here as well if you're interested in a plants unit for littles. Okay, so her math. In previous videos, if you have been watching, we started with Horizons, and we were doing book 2 of kindergarten as well as book 1 of first grade. And I was just noticing a lot of resistance. And I felt like maybe we were moving too quickly into subjects that were just beyond her age level, if nothing else. So we put that aside and I purchased a new curriculum. This is Abeka, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Abeka. Okay, numbers, skills, K5. And this has been really, really good. Now, the way that this curriculum is made up is that the lessons are 1 page. So like this is lesson, whatever it is, 74. But on the other side is lesson 72. So there is like a teacher's manual that goes with it. I didn't buy that. I only purchased the student workbook and I just rip out 1 page every day. So she does, you know, the front side and the back side, and that's her 1 lesson. And even though technically this is 2 lessons in the Abeka curriculum, but we're just going to go through this and eventually we will get back into addition and subtraction. And I'm going to just try to work really well with her to make sure that those math facts get down. But I just felt like she was age-wise, because she's only 5, that age-wise she just wasn't in a place to be doing, you know, later kindergarten math problems. So, because she's a fall birthday, so she's a very, very young 5. Okay, that's that. So her reading, I've started doing, it's called Daily Reading Comprehension, Level 1 with her, and I just do that with her every day. She reads the little passage, and then we answer the questions together, and there's 1 every day. It takes maybe 10 minutes. And then we do a spelling unit together. We are doing skill sharpeners, spell and write, again, off of teacher's file box. And I just project it onto my screen and we go through a couple of pages of that with her every day. And so sometimes we'll go through it quickly because she's really into it, and other days we'll just do 1 or 2 pages front and back, so like 4 pages. So anyway, that's been that. And then her looping kind of goes along with what I do with my son, and we just modify it to a younger grade. It's kind of like family school when we get to the looping and everybody participates. So we'll do Aesop fables, read alouds, draw and write. She's really into ABC Mouse right now, and I got a really great deal. They had a Labor Day sale and I jumped in on that. So all of my kids actually will do, 20 or 30 minutes of ABC Mouse only on the learning path. Can I say that out loud? And we also use ABC Mouse for our read alouds, and I will just sit with them and pull it up, and then we'll read those books. Being that we are traveling, I'm kind of in a very minimalist homeschool world, and so as much as I can carry with me on a computer is just such a fantastic resource for me. So I'm going to do another video here in the future about our minimalist, how to have like a minimalist homeschool. And you can do it without a whole classroom worth of stuff, which is new to me because I come from a public teaching world, and then I built my own homeschool classroom, which I am excited to get back to, but we have been doing this very minimalist homeschool life right now. So anyway, that's kind of the update with that. My 3-year-old, I am doing his daily learning workbook with him. I've talked about it a lot here on this channel as well as on my Instagram. You guys have seen me doing it all the time over there. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you're familiar with that. But he's just kind of hit or miss. He's a really young preschooler. He doesn't have the same structure that my older children did, and nor does he have the same personality as them. So we are learning about each other and kind of figuring that out as we go along, but I'm not worried about it. I know that he will learn his alphabet someday. We hope. Anyway, so that is my update this week for our homeschool life. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you found something of value. Check that description box below. I'll put the links for some of the resources you may be interested in grabbing. And follow along here in my channel so that you can continue to see how our homeschool year plays out. So thanks much, guys. We'll catch you in another one.